Hi everybody, this is chapter 8 and it's really getting exciting again. She's met this ex-girlfriend's brother that she's known since she was 6, and they have exchanged feelings, but mysterious feelings. So this is also really cute. It's more like a teenage book by now, but never mind. It's cute, it's fun and light, and I hope you're enjoying it. Chapter 8. Your boyfriend sounds hot, says Fiona. I'm jealous. Fiona is lying on her back in the chuki 5 minutes before our first class. I almost never see the girls she had with her in the first day. I sense that, like me, Fiona knows a lot of people, but doesn't have a particular special friend. For the first week of the tarot phase, 5 or 6 girls would be here in the morning, but now the most people have had their tarot read at least once. The sessions have eased off. Fiona still shows up every morning, though. He's not my boyfriend, I say defensively. We didn't even kiss. I like the name thing. Has he asked you to use different pronouns? No. Has he texted you since? I don't think so. He has my number. How about we ask the cards? Can we do that? Sure, I say, shuffling them. When I'm not in the class, I'm shuffling. It's soothing. It helps empty my mind when at night all I can hear is the voices of the girls in my class, each one of their problems, clamoring in my ear like clowns trying to push through a car door. Cards, cards, cards. What should Maeve do about her fancy man? Fiona plucks one at random from her upside-down position on the floor. Here we go, she says, brandishing it at me. Upside down man. Okay, it's the hanged man, I say, grabbing hold of it. That's the card Rue drew the other day on the bus. Wow, he's got super weird about it. He didn't want to talk or anything. I just told him about how the hanged man was about being suspended between 2 states. Or genders, says Fiona, thoughtfully. Maybe he's an NBI, non-binary. Rue is kind of a gender-neutral name. I guess I say I'm not really sure what that means, though. I think it can mean different things for different people. I have an actor friend who is NBI. I get it, Fiona. You have actor friends. Don't be a goal. She grabs an old textbook and hits me with it. The bell sounds. We should get to class, she says, and neither one of us moves. What do you have now? I ask. English. You? Bio. There is a small, self-conscious quiet while we both ponder, asking each other the same question. Yeah, I say, and lie on the floor with her, my jumper as cushion. The chuki is really quite cozy once you get used to the smell. And skip. That afternoon, one shows up. That afternoon, no one shows up to teach history. This happens a lot at St. Bernadette's. Sometimes teachers just don't appear because of a scheduling conflict or sudden emergency. They usually rush in with a supply teacher for the first years, but they tend to be a bit lazier fare with the 4th, 5th and 6th years. 20 minutes after the bell goes, we are still alone. No adult supervision. Maeve Michel says, do my tarot. I've done your tarot, Mitch, 3 times. To tell you the truth, I'm getting a little bored of this now. I like being famous for something, but I hate how everyone expects me to be a performing monkey. It's always been like this with me. If I think I get a laugh for something, I'll do it. That's how I ended up throwing the shoe at Mr. Bernard. Tarot hasn't elevated my reputation, but set it in stone. Do mine, says Nymphia. Nina, Nina, Niamh, Nina. You haven't done mine since Wednesday. Your tarot hasn't changed that much in 2 days. Nina, anyway, I left them in the chooky. Maeve, you're a liar. You haven't left them in the chooky. They are right here. Michelle fishes them out of my blazer on the back of the chair. What? Do you put them in there? I asked snappishly. Were you messy with my stuff? Jesus, no. God, you are cranky, she huffs. We are just bored. I can't keep reading for the same people over and over again. I respond peevishly and consider the matter closed. Lily hasn't had a reading yet, she says. She hasn't asked for one, I snapped. Lily is sitting where she always sits, at the very far left of the top of the row. Her head's in another one of those weird books that I tried to get her to stop reading in first year. She hasn't engaged with any of these tarot stuff, partly because I'm sure it frightens her, and partly because she doesn't talk to me anymore. Lily doesn't want tarot reading. Sure she does, Nia says before calling out to Lily. Hey, Lil, do you want Maeve to do you a tarot reading? Lil Nia shouts again. And because Lily still can't completely hear what she's saying, she gets out of her and chair, and crosses the room to us. Hi, Lily says shortly. What is it? We were just wondering if you wanted to get a tarot reading done. Why were you wondering that? Well, because you are the only girl in the year who hasn't got hers done yet. We thought you would be curious. Nia isn't a mean bitch all the time. She's actually pretty nice. But like a lot of the girls, she has a lot of mean bitch potential that comes out around easy targets like Lily O'Gallaghan. Lily tucks her hair behind her bad ear, something she always does when she's nervous. It's like she remembers all of her weaknesses at once and compulsively needs to show them. The way a dog shows you the soft pink skin on his belly. I'm not curious, she says. She still hasn't looked at me yet. She doesn't if she can help it. See? I say to Nia. She doesn't want to. So drop it. Are you scared? Goads Nina. It's a cliche, but it's a cliche for a reason. It works. Lily's lip twitches. No, she says. Then she pick 3 cards. Any 3, says Nia, grabbing the chooky cards from the table. Lily delicately picks up her cards and with her thumb and forefinger, holding each one by her fingernail, as if to minimize contact with them. She places them face down on the table. Are you going to turn them over, Maeve? Lily asks, and suddenly there is fire in her eyes. Then she looks at me right in the eye. You are used to turning on people's you are used to turning on people, aren't you? There is a loud audible gasp. Lily just called me out. It feels like everyone in the room is looking at us. Even Fiona has put her phone down and given up the over it. Look, she's usually adopted for class time. It is impossible to know what to expect from Lily. I blush with shame thinking of yesterday evening when I closed my eyes and waited for her older brother to kiss me. Did he tell her? Are they close? They weren't a year ago, but they might be now. They are both weird enough, after all. I flip Lily's first card over. It's the 5 of Cups. Aka. A picture of a woman trying with some knocked over cups around her. Lily looks straight at me. What does that mean then? I suddenly feel frightened of her. Where is the prissy, babyish Lily I used to know, the one who used to beg me to tell her ghost stories, but then cry if they got too scary? Sadness, I say, with a winch. Lily and I were both put in the slow reading class in primary school. We were 6 and still struggling with C-A-T and dog. When our mums realized how close our houses were, they became friends. The whole arrangement was magic for me and Lily. We had weekly sleepovers, went on family holidays together, toured around the wildlife park, while our mums sat and chatted in the cafe for hours and hours. We both got out of the slow reading class, but we stayed best friends until secondary school came, and who you were friends with was now much, much more important. Or at least I thought it was. Sadness, Lily repeats skeptically. That sounds a bit general. What do you mean? People are about always sad. People can be sad for lots and lots of reasons, she says coldly. When am I sad? Because I abandoned you. I can hear Nia and Michelle getting bored, annoyed by how slow this is going. Do you remember how me and Lily used to be friends? You are sad because I flipped next card. You are sad because I flipped the next card over. The 3 of Swords. Because someone dumped you. There's a shriek of laughter. Oh my God, says Michelle. You had a boyfriend. Did you have a boyfriend? That's a pretty amazing accomplishment. Lily? Well done, says Nia with patronizing sincerity. Okay, just getting my breath. Okay. Lily's face goes red for a moment. I'm sure that she's going to say any number of things that she knows about me, and that whatever tennis popularity I've gained over the last few weeks will dissolve into nothing. Even though we haven't been proper friends in over a year, our mums still talk a lot. No one has ever looked at me with the kind of hatred that Lily O'Callaghan is looking at me with right now. I can feel it burning through my bones like acid. Flip over the last card, Maeve, she says tightly. I flip over. At first, the letters don't even make sense. They take a few seconds to form in my head and I'm momentarily transported back to being 6 years old and sounding out every letter of the boat. Housekeeper! My mouth opened and closed in complete shock. How can the housekeeper card be here when I know for a fact it's locked in my top drawer? I definitely took it out. What does it mean? Asked Lily. All her fire turned to smoke. She's always been a huge believer in magic, equally fascinated and terrified by fairy thoughts, challenging witches, banshees. She would seek these things out, but then frighten herself with her own belief, even if Lily and I... Housekeeper! My mouth opens and closes in complete shock. How can the housekeeper card be here when I know for a fact it's locked in my top drawer? I definitely took it out. What does it mean? Asked Lily. All her fire turned to smoke. She's always been a huge believer in magic, equally fascinated and terrified by fairy thoughts, challenging witches, banshees. She would seek these things out, but then frighten herself with her own belief. Even if Lily and I were still friends, there's not a chance she would have asked for a tarot reading willingly. Her respect for the occult is too high to want to actually engage with it. I don't know, I say, and she can tell me right away that the tremor of my voice is real. It's the extra card. Tell me what it means, Lily says. Her eyes are locked with the illustration. The woman with the knife in her teeth and the mangy greyhound at her side. It's bad, isn't it? Tell me what it means, Maeve. There are no bad cards, Fiona, who has apparently been watching this whole exchange, interjects. Isn't that what you always say, Maeve? No bad cards. Yep, I say hoarsely, no bad cards. Lily looks as if she's about to burst into tears. Tell me, Maeve, I'm not too much of a baby to know. I don't know what it means, I say again. Lily's face reddens, her nostrils flaring. Pure molten rage is surging past the anxiety in her voice. She hates me for doing this to her, for putting her on the spot like this, for making her fear something I knew she would. This is so like you, she snarls, and the girls who weren't even paying attention to the reading look up. This is so Maeve. She finishes, her teeth gritted. Lily, I say, keeping my voice low in attempt to hush her. The panic and guilt I feel at involving Lily is being compounded by a sheer terror of seeing a card I know I removed. Stop. I genuinely don't know what it means, okay? But Lily doesn't want to stop. She's slow to anger, but when she does, she won't be told to shut up. You'll do anything for a bit of attention, won't you, Maeve? But then, when all eyes are on you, you've got nothing to back it up with. The girls around you go, ooh, and I hear one meow near the door. I can't believe we were ever friends, Lily says, staring at the housekeeper. You are not a good friend, Maeve. Fiona winches with the brutality of it, her face heavy with pity for me. Over her shoulder, I see Michelle and Nia exchange a look. A look that says, wow, if even that loser doesn't want her for a friend, why are you hanging out with her? I can't just let Lily say that to me. Not in front of everyone. I have to fight back with something. I wish I had never been friends with you. I snap. Lily, I wish you would just disappear. Lily looks at me like I've slammed her fingers in a car door. She takes one step back, her eyes brimming, and bites down on her lip. This is what the book is all about, because she disappears. The bell goes and everybody starts moving on to their last lesson of the week. I have civics studies now. Lily has geography. After class I look around for her, gnawing my fingernails. I can undo this, can't I? How can I have told Lily that I never wanted to be friends with her? The truth is I haven't laughed. Really, clutch your guts laughter since Lily and I stopped being friends. I miss her, and I have missed her for a long time, even before I severed her off like a bad limb last year. I had been putting distance between us since we started secondary school. I used to think this was normal. Normal to grow apart, normal to grieve the distance. It was a healthy grief, the grief you feel for Barbie dolls and pony figures when you become too old to play with them and still be socially acceptable. But Lily isn't some object that can be chucked to the back of a toy chest. She's a person, a great one. I can't find her after school, and I don't see Rue on the bus either. I spent all weekend worrying about her, asking Mum folks casual question about Mrs. O'Callaghan and whether they have spoken lately. They haven't. Mum and Dad go to Lisbon on Sunday night, and Joan and I get takeaway. We eat it in the front of an episode of The Masked Singer. At around 10 o'clock the power cuts suddenly and the room goes dark. I jump up yelping like a dog in a thunderstorm. Jesus, Maeve, relax. It's only blown a fuse. I know, sorry, I just got a fright. Our house is old and badly wired, so this kind of stuff is relatively common. Joe stands on a chair in the pantry and flips the switch in the fuse box. The lights come back on immediately, but the TV doesn't. Joe gets up and fiddles with it, but quickly realizes she doesn't know what she's doing and gives up. We sit in front of it, completely out of ideas. I guess TV's broken, she says lamely. Dad's going to have a field day with this. I leave you only for 2 minutes, etc., etc. I look at our reflection in the shimming black screen. Two sisters who look nothing at all alike. Joan looks and moves like a professional tennis player. She is all lean and muscular, with big cheekbones and a vaguely Nordic air about her. Her blonde streaky hair is always in a ponytail. She looks wholesome, like a sort of person who should always be eating carrot sticks. I have an autistic that Mum likes to call straight off the armada, which means that I've got a lot of dark, wiry hair and unibrow that I have to pluck every other morning. If I want to stay invisible, my brother Gillian looks like this too. Maeve and Gil are more Mediterranean, she always says, which is remarkable considering no one either side of the family is from anywhere but Ireland. Are you okay? She says, poking me with a chopstick, suddenly moved to speak after hours of companionable silence. You haven't said a word all weekend. I'm fine, I said blandly. Do you want to practice your tarot on me? No thanks. I'm kind of over it now. Over it already? Maybe I'm overreacting. Lily is 16 now, after all the same as me. She's probably grown up a lot over the past year. Her overactive imagination and her easiness to scare are probably things she left behind. But I keep thinking about how fierce she was during the reading. She gave as good as she got, and forced me to consider her as an equal rather than a childish old friend. It felt like an ocean had moved within her since I last spoke to her, an ocean that's made us drift even further apart. I feel sick every time I look at the cards. I've leafed through them a couple of times to try and weed out the housekeeper card, but she's disappeared. Does Lily have it? Did she pocket it in all the excitement? I'll apologize on Monday. I'll even give her the tarot consultancy, and I'll be nice to Lily, and then maybe we can think about being friends again. Now that me and Rue are friends, we could all pal around together. Except Lily doesn't come to school on Monday. She doesn't come in on Tuesday either. It's not until Wednesday that the police show up. And that's the end for this chapter. And I'll see you tomorrow, hopefully. Take care. Please like and share.